Alright, welcome back everyone. This is going to be my unboxing of the PRL Motorsports cold air intake for 2017 Civic Si Coupe. If you've watched my last video, you know that my girlfriend Kat purchased this for me for Christmas. I am super excited to get this thing going. I took everything out of the box just because the table I'm using, it's not very big. Pretty much what you see in this film is basically how much I've got. So couldn't really get the box up here and take everything out at once. And so we're gonna make it easy. We'll just go through what comes in the kit, and then I'm gonna clear everything off, show you what you need for the tools, and then we will get right to it. So first off, this is a new Maf housing. It's made of aluminum and then coated in black. It's pretty nice, very good quality. This is the street Maf housing, so it's the same size as the stock housing, so there's no tune needed because this is the street version. They do sell a race version which has a 50% bigger Maf than stock, so you're going to require a tune, so that way you're not throwing any crazy codes or your car starts acting weird. And it comes with a 4-ply hose. This right here, you got your nice PRL. I love the blue on the inside, even though you're not going to be able to see it. This actually connects onto the small side of your Maf housing, because your Maf housing is actually going to sit like that. If the front end of the car is facing me, this is what I would see. So for you guys, it was right anyway. Then you got your 6-ply. This freaking thing is massive. And you got the logo on there again, more blue, really nice. Definitely more airflow there. This connects to the bigger side of the Maf housing, and then it goes down into this bad boy, which is a polyurethane molded piece for the lower portion of the intake. This is actually, so like I said, this piece here will connect to this, and then the filter connects to that to close it off. So, and then speaking of, next up you've got the filter. It's a red filter. I like the quality of this. I've only seen a couple of aftermarket filters like this. I know like my WRX had one similar, but it was so big, it was still really pliable. So with how small this one is, it's not, I am squeezing it and it's not moving. So I feel like that makes it a little bit better quality, that it's not able to collapse in on itself. And then you got 2 brackets here. So the actual stock airbox brackets are taken out just because this is, of course it fits better, so it's not a 1-for-1 swap. So one of those brackets is going to connect here, and then the other bracket is going to connect here, and then those connect to the sidewall in areas that are already drilled. So that way, you know, there's no drilling in your frame or anything crazy like that. And then pretty much last up, you've just got your hardware. So this plate right here allows you to, it makes it so that you relocate your clutch cable. They did that. I don't know what direction it moves it to, if it moves it out or towards the front end or rear end or whatnot. We'll figure that out once we get it in. And then, of course, the hardware. So, and I believe it was supposed to come with the band clamps. Mine didn't, which is really no big deal. I mean, worm clamps are literally 50 cents. I have so many worm clamps from various projects that it was really easy to find 4 worm clamps that would work. And technically, you only really think I need 2, these guys, because the hose that this replaces, the clamps that are currently on it should still fit. So not a big deal at all, in my opinion. You know, things get overlooked, especially, you know, with how small that is. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to the intake. I mean, it's a cold air intake, so the least amount of pieces, the better, really. So yeah, let me go ahead and clear this off, and we will go over the tools that we're going to use. So I will be right back. All right, we're back again. So tools, real quick, the ones I can't throw on the table, you're gonna need. I shouldn't say need. It's recommended that you jack the car up. I think they said like 18 to 20 inches or 19 to 21 inches, something along those lines. But you want to jack up the front driver's side of the car because you have to get under the front fender well for because that's where the filter ends up. It's pretty much right in front of your front tire in where the airbox is. We'll see that here in a little bit. But jacking up that side of the car a little bit definitely helps. Then you're going to need a socket wrench. I'm just using a 3/8 drive socket wrench. You're going to need an extension. They only recommend one extension. I always grab just these ones just in case. Those are my go-to sizes for extensions. I'm not sure if the 3/8 is going to do it. Some of the screws they I think have to be removed. I may have to go up to 1/2 inch. I don't know exactly. The car is pretty brand new, so nothing should be really stupid tight, but we'll see. Then for your sockets, for that socket wrench, you're going to need a 10 mil and a 8 mil. Then you'll also need a 10 mil wrench. I just grabbed a combo Ritchie ratchet wrench with an open end. Hopefully that does the trick. Otherwise, I'll have to get the either a regular box end or just a normal open end wrench. I don't exactly know what that's there to do. So if it's a tight space, the open end would be fine. But if not, then we'll work with it. And you're going to need a screwdriver, Phillips, and a flathead. So I just grabbed a bit driver and some bits. So this is for the Maf housing, I believe. I want to say the Maf housing, the stock one, is Phillips, and then the actual cable that goes to the Maf housing is held into a clip that you need a flathead to remove so you can get the Maf out of your way so you can get the rest of it. So we will see. Next up, you'll need a 3mm and a 5mm Allen head set hex key. I grabbed short handle and long handle of both just because I don't exactly know where these come into on the install. So the short handle may be my best bet, or if I can get a little bit more leverage, then I will use the long handle. And then last but not least, torque wrench. So I am a huge advocate of torquing everything properly. So each of the bolts, if I remember correctly, have to be torqued for this install to 120 inch-pounds. So minimal tools. I feel like with a little bit of experience on using these tools properly, you could probably do this in about 2 hours. Quicker if you have a lot of experience when it comes to working on cars. This is the first time I'm going to be digging into a Honda Civic, so it may take me a little bit longer, plus the fact that I am going to be filming each step by step for you guys so you can see exactly how this goes in. The install may take me a little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and clear everything out because currently my studio is also my workshop, so I got to clear out everything that I'm using to shoot these videos to be able to bring my car in here to get it started. So I will be back, and actually we will both be back. Kat is going to help me install this, so I'll see you guys in a little bit, and we'll get this thing started. All right, guys, so we are pretty much set up. We're going to get this install going. I kind of know what I'm doing, but I also kind of don't because I've never worked on a Honda before, so we'll see. It seems like a pretty simple install. There's some stuff that you got to do under the car. So if you look over here, we already have the car jacked up to a high enough height that I feel comfortable with. And then basically what this install is doing is we're going to be removing from here over to here, and this whole air box comes out and then gets replaced. So in the unboxing, that little tube will go here, the MAF housing will go here, the big tube will then filter down to the polycarbonate tube down below, which then the polycarbonate tube hooks to the actual filter. So like I said, kind of know what I'm doing, kind of don't know what I'm doing. So we will figure this out together, I guess, right, honey?
Yep.
We'll try to
have some patience with my camera work because
Yeah.
I'm not the greatest.
Okay, so first off, you want to kind of clear out some of the stuff that's down here. So I'm going to have Kat pass me the camera so I could show you, since it's kind of hard for her to get over here with me down here. I got a little bit of a small garage. So first up, when you're looking at the front end of the car, you're going to find these two Phillip head screws. You need to take those out. And then back there, I've already popped it because they're kind of funky to get to with the tire. Those have to come out, or that has to come out. And then you're going to move underneath. So let me get these two screws and that pop tab out real quick. And usually with the pop tab, all you got to do with the pop tab is just get a flathead screwdriver in the center and then kind of finagle it until it releases. So
I'm trying to get over there.
They're just screws. It's real simple. They're kind of in there a little tight, and I got so many loose panels on this car. I need to go through and look at all that. I haven't actually been under this car much. Like I said in the previous couple of instances, this is my first aftermarket part for this car, and I am tearing this screw all up. Don't do this, guys, because you don't want to strip these. I tore that all up. Didn't strip it, but it's seen better days already. And then, so like I was saying, for these, it's pretty simple. You're just trying to get it to this center piece here to pop out like that. So as you can see, I just used a screwdriver and got it. There's a couple others underneath. So now that we have those out, I'm going to set these over by the jack because I don't really have a tray for the parts. So the bigger parts are going to go on my table, but the smaller parts I'm going to hide near the areas that I have to go to. So next up, I'm just changing this out to the Phillips, or from the Phillips to the flathead, because I'm going to need that. So first up, there's this bolt here.
I'm trying to find your hand.
So
I can't see.
That bolt here, and then if you follow this all the way over, this bolt here, both of those have to come out. And then if you follow this up to the front, these two pop tabs have to come out. And what that allows you to do is this whole piece can then bend down so that you can access underneath the air box. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. These are always a pain, in my opinion. The nut plate doesn't always want to give you the nut or the bolt. And that's exactly what this one's doing right now, is being a pain. It might actually just be a lot longer than I anticipated it. Holy crap, it is a long bolt. Come on, you. There we go. Oh yeah, it's got a little stud on it. That's cool. Anyway, so like I said, I kind of just set these aside so I know this one's going to be there, so I'll just hide it under the wheel. I don't really recommend you doing that, but this isn't an actual like workman's garage, so I know that anything that comes off this car is going to be really easy to find since no other car has really been worked on in here. I think the last car to do anything in this garage was a car that my dad doesn't even have anymore. So
we don't have the space to do this, so I'm commandeering my dad's garage. So like I said here, you just kind of get a screwdriver under there and then just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And, you know, it's going to fight you a little bit, but it'll eventually pop loose and then it just pulls right out. So when you've got enough room like this, it's pretty easy. The one before, I kind of just did it preemptively so I wasn't fighting it for 20 minutes on camera, because that kind of crap happens all the time. So everything, now that this is loose, I just gotta figure out exactly how to get back inside here. Alright, so now we're going to move to the top of the car real quick, because there's some stuff up here that we need to do. Grab some tools. Give me 1 second. Okay, so next up will be here. We'll get this Maf sensor out, and I think that's gonna probably be best to use a 1, not a 2 like I had, just in case. The Maf sensors, those screws are pretty malleable, so you want to give it even pressure and then just lightly turn it, because I guess it is going to be a 2. My bad, guys. You don't want to strip these. Be bad juju if you strip these. Yeah, so it is a 2. There we go. See, just a little bit of pressure, and then they come right out. You don't want to, once you get that torque broke, you don't want to do anything else, because that'll give you that opportunity to strip these out, and you don't want that. So since these are smaller parts, I throw these on my table, and then we got to get that cable out of the way. So we want it to come all the way up here, and do that. There's a little clip down here. It's one of those wedge clips. So it's kind of like that, and then it's got the little wings. Just want to push those wings in, so that way it just finagles out a little, and it's going to be kind of hard to get on camera. See? That's all it did. See? This is what I was talking about. So you want to push on one of these wings and then pull it that direction, so that way it just pops out. So now that's out, you're going to slowly take your Maf out and then slide that off to the side, so that way it's out of your way, you're not screwing with those wires or any of that jazz. And then here comes the fun part. I'm going to look down below. I think I'm going to have to remove a couple of more pieces down there. My knowledge of this car is failing me a little bit. Alright, so next up will basically be getting this out, because this is a giant puzzle piece. So we're going to have to go, loosen, remove, a couple of other things here or there have to come out, and then this is going to pop out. So, alright, so you're going to just take these, slide these until they're movable by hand. There, so that should be pretty loose there. Get this one over here. So it's just a screwdriver, just a Phillips screwdriver. So might have to finagle with those a little bit just until they wiggle loose. And then we need to get this off, which is also Phillips screwdrivers. Phillips head, I should say. A lot of Phillips heads on this thing. Holy balls. So what I'm doing here is there's 4 Phillips heads that follow the top of this air box to be able to get to your air filter, which is the first piece of this puzzle to go. So there's one here, 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 and then over here, and they are quite long. So there's the one. Set these, I usually, like I said, small pieces go on the table. One of these days I'll get a magnetic tray for stuff like this, but breaking stuff already.
It just popped off.
Try not to lose those washers. 2 of them, it looks like.
I didn't catch that, but I'll get one of them. You moved too quickly on me.
Testing a theory here. Yeah, that's what I thought. Those screws didn't have to come all the way out, so waste a little bit of time there. But this allows you to. So there's your filter, and then that pops off. So here's one piece out, and then we're gonna have to loosen that a little bit more on this side to get this hose out. Of course, the one piece that I didn't really care about is the one that's going to be the pain in the butt to get out. Shaking a lot on the car and making sure my jack wasn't going anywhere.
You don't want to drop your car.
Yep, done that before, not on this one. Doing some, I was just doing some minor maintenance on the WRX at that point. I don't even remember exactly what I was doing, but I had it on jacks. And it just decided to topple over on me. Luckily, I was able to get out of the way, but it destroyed my whole...
The jack broke.
That's what it was. You're right. The jack broke. So, but yeah, it jack broke, and then as the jack fell, the jack stand that I had on the other side of the car pushed the car laterally to the right, so I destroyed my entire right-hand side skirt. So that was exciting. So that clamp is off. So I must be doing something wrong here. I don't feel anything else on this. So yeah, that clamp is moving just fine. Oh, is that a key? It is a key. Alright, so I'm not sure if you saw that, but this little key here, all I did was I put some pressure on that and then pushed it towards the rear of the car, and off it comes. So, flat.
I can feel them find out where the key was.
This is where the key was. So, all right, next up, just hit that. You know, I've got less than 3,500 miles on this car, so this thing's pretty clean still. All right. So next up, we're gonna need to get the next piece of this box out, which looks to be only 2. So you're gonna have, that's gonna be a 10, and there's gonna be another 10 down here. So let's grab some extensions. Alright, so back to these. So I'm just straight down there at that one that we pointed out earlier. So these only have about 120 or so inch-pounds on them, so don't really have to give it too much of an oomph, but see, not a whole lot there. And I have relatively large hands, so that one down there
Do you need little hand help?
may need little hand help.
I had little hands.
Okay,
Little hand help?
hold on, going on here. And so I have a feeling, yep, so it's got to be a little bit rough with it, because I have a feeling there is there is one of those little nipple things down there to keep this from coming up. I just don't know exactly where that nipple is to be able to.
Is that something you can...
There we go. Yeah, see? That little thing right there, which goes right here, and then this nipple goes right there. So all I really did was I just, you know, finagle, and then you just kind of give it a little bit of an oomph. You want to pull it towards the front of the vehicle to be able to loosen that up. So, awesome. Next part. Alright, so let's see where we're at. Alright, so after looking around a little bit, so this bracket here, this is what held the screws and stuff for the top portion of your airbox. So this has to come out for sure. And then to get this bad boy out, I'm going to remove that screw down there. I have a feeling that's probably going to be the easiest way to get it out, because if I move this, it feels like that's the only thing possibly keeping it in. We'll go underneath and double check. So start with, we are going to take those off, and those are also 10s. So we get these 10s off real quick to get this mount bracket out, because I know for a fact that's got to go. Because then we're going to also have to mess with that clutch line there. above it. They're probably not gonna see it. I know. It's okay.
Okay.
No, that stuff's kind of normal. I mean, when you're finagling on a CV22 or something like that, and you have to have one guy with their arm all the way inside holding a bolt, and then another person on a different portion of the stand holding the wrench. It's just, you kind of get used to working in tighter corners and with everybody in your way. I don't know how many times I've had to do stuff completely blind. Something will be over my head, and I'll have to reach in, but I can't, because I'm reaching in, I can't see what I'm reaching at, so I literally just have to do it by touch. It's just, shit happens. So this bad boy is what that air box was connected to. So hopefully that comes into focus.
It did. I just couldn't find you.
Turn that off
I
to
make
the
a
side.
wonderful camera lady. Need to hold the flashlight?
So that right there we will get to in a second. That relocation bracket that I showed you in the unboxing, that's what that's going to be for. So it's going to go right here. So it's actually going to move it out away from the frame a little bit. So that's pretty cool. But our next mission is to get this out. We need this out for sure. So let's see if I can't get back in there. Hey, what did I just say, huh? I can't see the nut, so I'm doing this completely blind. I keep saying nut. It's a fucking bolt head. Sorry guys, I just totally punched the camera.
It's okay, I don't have a standy hand.
What's it yelling at you for?
Time to get moving.
Oh, it's your watch. Time to get moving. What are you talking about? You're probably doing the most work we've done all freaking holiday weekend.
I don't know about that.
I do. Okay, so now that that's removed, I am capable of looking. I don't know. So we've got that bracket out. This air box. Looks like it. So there's a nipple over here that just rests on the frame. How the hell? That's random. There's a leaf in here. I have a feeling that this right here, like you said, Kat, I think that might be, yep, that's our next point of, so that right there, we're going to need to go underneath to remove, because I have no way of getting to it from up here. Alright guys, so we're back a little bit. I had to take a little bit of a technical break there. So, oh yeah, I love my hair. So that air box has two 10mm bolts going through it, and I couldn't find the second one. And since I'm flying a little blind here, yeah, so because of that, it took a second to find it. Found it though. So first off, you're going to have to take off a little bit more than what we anticipated to get this done. So I had to take this little shear, this little, I guess, I don't know what you call this. Anyway, I'm stupid because I can't think of the name right now. So this is in there like so. So you got a 5mm hex bolt, 5mm hex bolt over here, pop tab, and then pop tabs all the way through pretty much. I want to say here and here were Phillips heads. Let me see if they were. Yeah, Phillips heads. So pretty easy to pop off. But once you can pop it off, or once you pop it off, don't break any clips like I did. I freaking shattered that one, so don't do that. I'm gonna set that aside just so I can get under here and show you real quick what I found. So, yep. Once you have that off, you can slide up in here. And so this right here is the bottom of that air box. And then if you look carefully right there, see that? Right there? That's got to come off for the air box to be removed. So we found it. I'm going to get that off real quick, and then we'll start the relocation of the clutch cable. It's kind of a tight fit, but I should be able to get it out. And
you might have to take that other
bracket
side off. Or not.
Boom. There you go.
Marker.
So that's the one that gave us the most trouble. That's the little booty I was telling you about that just sits on your frame, keeps it from vibrating. So this is the relocation bracket. So for this, you're gonna need that out of the kit. This is the I think it's 5mm. So that'll slide in there like so. And then this replaces the factory nut that we're about to, or factory bolt that we're about to take out, which is a 10. So that will slide in there like that. But then the relocating pin needs to go in, and then this piece goes in where the original relocating pin was. So let's set that off to the side real quick so I can get in here, and then we will. That other extension, this is too small, excuse me. So that bracket is free now. So then this, I need excuse me. I need to be where you're at.
Oh.
Alright, so you can see that little indentation here in the back of the bracket goes here. So pretty simple, self-explanatory. Just line up the line up that so it doesn't move. See how it's locked in there now, and you just slide this down all the way. And just make sure it's snug. There's not going to be any crazy torque on this one. Alright, so that's it installed. So that's the actual plate installed there. So the next up, what you'll do is you'll take the next...
Find it. I zoomed in and lost it. There it is. Okay.
So, and then this, so you have this locking tab here. All you're going to do is you're going to take it, so this piece back here, find that, and it just slides right in like so. See? And then you will take this is the M12. And that will replace the factory bolt and attach this to here, if I can get it lined up. Alright, so you just line up the factory right there. So the factory locking tab goes into the locking hole, and then that nut there replaces the factory bolt, I should say. God dang it, I keep saying nuts. So go ahead and we're going to go and get that tightened down, and I don't know if I should torque it yet, but I might, just because I don't feel like this is going to be required to move any. And once I start getting the rest of these lines in, I don't know if I'll be able to get to it. Oh, 120 inch-pounds, not a whole lot going for it there.
What's considered a lot?
I've torqued something to like 350 foot-pounds before, so more than 120 inch-pounds. 120 inch-pounds is only what, 10 foot-pounds, so
So weigh 120.
this is torque, baby. You don't weigh torque. All right, I want to say that that's it. Next is the install. So yeah, fun. We'll be right back. Alright, so we are back here. A little bit of finagling
again, I needed to kind of see exactly how this went in. So off camera, I got it in. It's just floating there, and I'm talking about the rotoform, so the plastic piece where the filter attaches. So that's basically the first part of the install. Is you're going to get that in, put the brackets in so that you can get it situated, and then from there you just build it up into the top. So I'm currently sitting on the ground, so I'm going to get up and show you. I tried to get it from underneath. It wasn't going. It was actually a lot easier to get it to go through the top. So basically the bottom where the filter goes is going to have two places for screws, and those are going to be the smaller screws that came with the set. They're M616s, and then the bracket, so the bracket will connect to that, and then it connects to another portion of the frame with two of the longer screws, which are M612s. You might have those backwards, but the small ones go in the plastic portion, the long ones go in the frame. And when you do that, it's one of them requires the nylon nut that came with the kit, because it's one of the holes on the frame is threaded. The other hole is just a square cutout that you're going to put the bolt through. So I'll show you that here in a second. But basically, so this piece right here, the plastic piece, so you kind of have to push it past the plastic that's down here. There's some fender liner here that you have to push past. If you come from underneath, you don't get enough leeway. So if you come through the top and push it down, and see how it snakes through. So you just snake it through like so, and then we will go. So then the top bracket is going to connect here, which I'll get to in a second. So it's going to connect to there to hold it into place, but we'll show you the bottom bracket first. Alright. So this is what I was talking about. So the bottom bracket is going to have two pieces here, and then the two that go. So for in the plastic piece, it's going to be these ones. And then the ones that go onto the actual chassis are going to be the longer ones. And you're going to need the nylon nut for one of these. So if we get under here, you'll see a little better. So you look. So here's this. So two small ones. And then the bracket's going to connect here. So this hole is where the nut's going to need to be. And then that one's already drilled. So that one will just go right in. So I'll go ahead and get that done. Like I said, it's just me now. So I'm not really going to be able to get a whole lot of this on camera. But I'll go slow enough to where I can show you each step as I go. Now, these two are pretty much right on top of each other. So this one, this one's this one's finger tight in there, just so the bracket can move. So you're gonna tighten that one down with an open end wrench, and then get in here and tighten this one down with an open end wrench, just because they're so close together. But then it comes up and it hooks into those two slots, and I'll leave this loose so I can get the bracket up on top on there. And once we have that in place, we'll start adding the hoses and stuff. So that'll be next. Alright, so at this point you shouldn't have much hardware left. I want to say, like, for me, this is, looking at the table, this is all I have left, because the rest of it came off the car, looks like. But anyway, so I have these three. These are the short ones. So they're going to go into this bracket. So, and then that bracket is actually going to fit. So one screw is going to go here, one screw is going to go here, and then it's going to finagle down
to this little nub right here. So I'm actually going to start this nub, and then I'll line it up with these two, and we'll see where we can go from there. So if you see there, the bracket L shape will be facing you when it goes in. So you just want to snug that down. Don't tighten it, just get it so that it's not as wobbly, so you can line up the other two. And if you look, so the plate will line up pretty decently. So starting with this one here, just get that one in like so. Drop the other one in my hand, and let it wiggle, wiggle, wiggle until it goes into place. It's not wanting to. There it goes. Oop. And then that's in there. So now, hand tighten these real quick. So yeah, there's that the upper bracket. So then this sits here, and then we'll just build it back up, and then it connects into there. Okay, so next up is going to be the 6-ply big hose with the 4-inch clamps, and basically the way that this is going to be orientated. Let's see if I can get these clamps down here so I can hold on to them. So the way this is going to orientate, so there's the rotomold, the plastic piece. This is going to come down like so. So that way your Maf sensor goes here, and then the 4-ply tube connects all of that together. So I'm just going to get that on there. Okay, so that's in. Now, so if you look inside here, you know, you have your little lip there. You want to fill down all the way inside there to make sure that, I don't know if I can get my hand out of the way. See? So there's a lip down there. That is the rotor form. So you want to make sure that that lip lines up with the same lip down on the bottom. So that way the airflow is working properly and everything. And of course, you know, you're going to line up your bracket and everything so that it's easily accessible with a screwdriver or ratchet. And then yeah, so we'll move on. So I get that tightened down, and then I'll show you the next step. Alright, so now that we've got that clamp in place, I went ahead and kind of snugged this one down a little bit. It's still pretty pliable, movable, so it's not going to really get in the way too much. So next up, you're going to be doing your Maf housing and the 4-ply tube. So I've already put the Maf housing in there, so that way it makes it a little bit easier to get on that 4-inch tube here. I went ahead and cannibalized the 2 clamps from the stock tube, just because the worm clamps that I was planning on using, it's just I have to get them so tight. There's a lot of extra material, and I don't want to have to deal with cutting any of that off later. So but yeah, this basically just connects into there, and then this will go over this piece. So I'm going to do that real quick. My camera person is walking up right now, so as I'm doing that, she'll most likely pick up the camera, and we will go from there around. So I'll put that on like so. And this will come up like so.
think I made friends.
So pay attention to that, guys. If you're going to install one like this, you just got to make sure. Like I said, I was going off of this as reference. It looks like that isn't made to be on the top there. So, but everything else looks like it's fitting nicely. So, if you guys see, so just want to make sure that that's flush. That you're flush here and here, and then you just get the clamps in place, and you'll start from the bottom to the top. So you'll tighten up the bottom mount, then you'll do this mount here, then clamp, 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 and then we will figure out how to get the filter on. I have a feeling once we have this all locked down that the filter is going to have just enough room to fit. So be right back. Alright, so I got this tightened and torqued. Depending on how you have the rotoform and everything attached, you might need to wedge it a little. So we torqued those and those, so I had to wedge it just a little bit so that there was a gap between this pipe and this pipe, so you can just barely see it there. So I'm not sure if they're supposed to be touching. From my experience, you don't like that stuff touching because then it chafes. So next up we have that. So the next thing you want to do is torque down this bracket. Once the brackets are torqued down, you can move your hoses a little bit here or there to get the best seal, and then you'll lock everything down. The Maf sensor will go on, and then the intake, or the actual filter, will go on. Alright, so I was able to get, so that's torqued. We got all the clamps torqued in a good position to where if I need to get to them later, we can. Like I said, I reused these clamps because the clamps that I had for this side would have had twice as much material hanging off. I didn't really want to deal with that. And then the Maf sensor just clicks in. They're 3mm Allen head screws. And then these are just snugged up. They don't need to go in there super tight. I don't even know if there's a torque value for them. So don't go crazy. Alright. And so, oof, knocked the camera a little. There you go. So it's connected to there. I actually got the PRL to show a little bit. So that's good. And it goes all the way down there. So next up is, the last before cleanup, is to put the filter on. Cat.
It came up to your head to see what you were doing, and then came up to mine. Get some more water or food, it looks like. You need help?
I'm just trying to get this to catch again because I unhooked it. There it goes. Sweet, there we go. I just need the socket wrench. Hi, you. Alright, that looks like it's on there. Okay. Ugh. Whew. So it wasn't too bad of an install. We're done. We're done. You saw the last little bit me fighting with the actual. So basically, for me to get the filter on, I had to disassemble. I had to disassemble the worm clamp, and then it went right on, and then everything. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the car put back together. It's just reverse order, of course, putting everything where it came off of. So, and then we'll get it off the jack and start her up. See what happens. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. So we'll be back once we have the car back together.
Hi.
Hey guys, so we're back. Install's done. The original plan was to do the install, and then on top of this video we were going to do a detailed look at the intake along with sounds. We're not going to be able to do that, unfortunately. We have a pyre engagement that we have to get to. So look forward to another video that's going to be just solely on how it sits in the engine bay, getting some good shots of it, and also it's going, how it sounds. And then just to backpedal a little bit, the install is actually pretty easy. I feel like pretty much anybody who has any semi knowledge on what a tool does, if you can use a ratchet, you pretty much are set. PRL did a fantastic job with designing this to fit exactly where it needs to go. A little bit of finagling needed to get the tubes, the hoses to line up, but it is fantastic. Probably, I think it took us about an hour and a half, even with a couple of breaks and some fumbling around. Probably a lot less had it just been us going, balls to the wall trying to get it done. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Look out for the video for the sounds and a little bit of detail on how it sits in the engine bay. And if you guys have any questions or any comments about the install, go ahead and leave them below. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later.